Absolutely not. It will not be enough to quell the anger of Nigerians. Let me quickly say that the reason the NFF will jump to the defense of the team straight away is because it was the President Goodluck Jonathan, who actually twisted the NFF to reinstate Stephen Keshi the last time out. And the president of the NFF, Amaju Pinnick, would not want to be seen by President Jonathan as saying, well, we told you so that he couldn't do the job. So he's taking responsibility so that the president will be happy with him, so to speak. Otherwise, Nigerians know better that Amaju Pinnick, the NFF president, is actually not happy with Keshi, and he will rather not take responsibility. So, as I said, Nigerians will see that as a political statement, and it will not, stop the anger. You need to listen to the radio this morning. Every radio station in Lagos where I'm staying, everybody is talking about yesterday's game. And people are phoning in and they're expressing their anger. It's unbelievable. I mean, of course, we've always known that Nigerians are crazy about football, so it's not surprising, really. Everybody is very, very angry, especially after the Eagles managed to come back against Congo 4 days ago now. On Saturday, nobody expected them to be able to pull a 2-0 win away in Point Noir, which they did, and that raised a lot of expectation. So people just expected, Nigerians expected that they would just close it out against South Africa yesterday in Uyo, right here in Nigeria. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. The performance was terrible, and no excuses really, because everything was there for the Eagles to take that ticket, and they couldn't deliver. So Nigerians are quite disappointed. First and foremost, Nigerians want Keshi to step down or be fired by the NFF. And a lot of people are saying the NFF should now go ahead and hire the kind of coach that they had in mind when they asked Keshi to step down the first time when they first got into office, talking about the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick. And most people are looking for a foreigner this time, because before Keshi came, it was Samson Siasia, who failed to qualify for the Nations Cup 3 years ago, incidentally in Equatorial Guinea and Gabon. And Keshi came in, took over and took the Eagles to South Africa and won the Nations Cup. And now he's taking us back again, where he met us, right on the floor, failing to qualify for the Nations Cup. So Nigerians most fans feel that we've seen the best of the local coaches, because Keshi, Siasia, and his colleagues, they were some of our best players in Europe 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they were supposed to bring their experiences over the years to coaching the national team. And so far, Nigerians are concluding that it's not been good enough, and now we need to get a foreign coach to take over the Eagles and plan for the future. First and foremost, I can talk for my constituency. I'm a sports journalist. We publish a sports newspaper, Complete Sports, and we were already making calculations on how we're going to increase our print run during the Nations Cup next year. That's not going to happen this time. Of course, also a lot of advertising that will have come into our publication is not going to happen. So everybody's angry. Those of us in the business of sports, we are quite angry that the Eagles have failed to qualify for the Nations Cup. And then, of course, Nigerians, football fans who always enjoy watching the Super Eagles play at big tournaments, the World Cup in Brazil a few months ago, and before that, the Nations Cup in South Africa. Next year is going to be completely empty of football action, because another Nations Cup wouldn't come until 2 years after that, which is 2017. Qualifiers will start in 2016, I guess. And then the World Cup, the next World Cup is 4 years from now. So it's going to be a really, really dry period for those of us in the business of sports. And also the fans who enjoy watching the Super Eagles play. So I can't really describe how disappointed we are. Oh, well, for starters, there was a lot of celebration at the stadium, even before kickoff. The stadium in New York is actually a brand new stadium, And yesterday's game was actually Nigeria's first competitive game at that stadium. Before that, the stadium was declared open officially, I think, a week or two ago, with a friendly match between the home-based Super Eagles and Ghana, which the home-based Super Eagles won by 1-0. So yesterday's game, as I said, was the first competitive game, and Nigerians are not happy that we couldn't get a win. So at the start, there was a lot of expectation. The mood was very high, and but during the game proper, I think the Eagles, they started quite well. We created a number of chances, but we didn't take them. And then thereafter, the South Africa grew into the game, and then they got the first goal before halftime and scored the second immediately after halftime. And from that point, it was difficult. We knew it was going to be difficult for the Eagles to now come back and score 3 goals to win the game outright and ensure that they qualified on their own terms. By the way, we were also watching what was going on in Sudan, because if Congo didn't manage to win, Nigeria could still have qualified. But of course, Congo went on to win by 1-0, and all hope was lost. So the performance on the pitch yesterday was quite disappointing. After the first 15, 20 minutes when the Eagles played, impressed, thereafter they just fizzled out. A lot of individual errors, poor coordination amongst the players. You can say it's only when the team loses that we find all these faults, but to be honest, these are weaknesses in the team that we have been, pointing out, to the coach over the last few months. But of course, when the team is winning, you really cannot say much. But yesterday, everything now came, to light, and they didn't get the result, and now there's no defense for the team. The players, obviously, they will not agree that they're not playing up to scratch. I remember the last game, the penultimate game against Sudan in Khartoum that they lost by 1-0. Some journalists actually took on the players and told them they weren't good enough, and it was going to result into a physical combat, really. So, and yesterday, after the match against South Africa, the players refused to speak to the media. Even Stephen Cashew, the coach, did not talk to the media. So there's been this animosity between the media and the team in the last few months, where the team has not been satisfied with their performance, and obviously the players think they are doing enough, and it's the media that is not appreciating their effort. So I'm sure they're not looking at themselves, but this time they have to look at themselves, because they have failed the nation. And what can I say? We're just so disappointed. Well, that's a big question. Each time we have failed to achieve a particular objective, everybody has spoken about going back to the drawing board. And on radio today, when people are making comments, everybody was saying, look, by this time, this drawing board will have broken into pieces, because you keep going back to the drawing board all the time. So there's no board to go back to at this moment. Joking apart, for some time, some of us in the media will be saying, look, we need to have a technical director for the national teams, and not just the Super Eagles now. A technical director that will coordinate all the teams from under 17, under 20, under 23, all the way to the Super Eagles, so that at any level, any player that gets into the national team setup knows the expectation, knows the kind of football that we're going to play, so that once you get into the system and you grow from under 17 to under 20, under 23, you can begin to see a pattern. And we've been talking about this for quite a while now, so we are hoping that the Nigeria Football Federation, the new executive committee, will go in that direction, get a sound technical director who will coordinate all the national teams, so that we can see a pattern, because for some time now, all we've seen from the Super Eagles especially has been a lot of power, and not much in terms of creativity.